Hello, 1, 2, check.
Hello, 1, 2, check. Check, check, check. Hello, everybody, my fellow Athenians. This is Joseph Leetzen here on the EIB network. 7:50 a.m., 12 o'clock p.m. local time. Your source for what's hot with our polis and what's not. That is politically speaking. And right now, I can tell you, a lot of things are wrong with Athens and the Athenian leadership right now. You know, every morning I'm proud waking up an Athenian, but I personally believe it is an act of committed hubris for our government system to continue in this twisted, thick bowl of swampy soup that we call democracy. Yes, I label democracy, a modern form of government, a piece of trash. I tend to label it so because this is not representative democracy. This system is not organized. What this is, folks, is the leaders of Attica trying to make people feel happy, lift their spirits, and feel accomplished and entitled to serve in our government. They think everybody can be in our government. I haven't seen such a complex system since the ancient Rubik's Cube. I couldn't solve it. It took me 1,000 times, but this political system, everybody is obligated to have a chance to serve in our polis, which on paper is great. I see a lot of benefits of it. You know, yeah, free spots that control this city's everyday decisions and long-term decisions. All in the hands of not a select few that can perhaps efficiently run Athens, but instead someone who has two buck teeth and the education of raising chicken, I'm assuming that's what Athenian farmers do right now, can have the same influence of a well-dressed nobleman in the finest toga linens, and as an equally high-valued education. So basically, a high school dropout can have the same influence as a Wall Street shark. That is what's going on, folks. That's what you need to know. And what I don't understand is that this democracy is decentralizing power, and it's not leading to the efficient control of power that can help you in times of war. And what we are facing right now is a huge war. I'll get to that in a moment. You know, they should build a statue after Pisistratus. Pisistratus, whom reigned quite a few years ago, long before my time, about 546 to 527, I believe. Exiles, Achaemenids, and other aristocrats, people whom stall the process of law with their bickering and disagreements and blah. Unlike this democracy today, where everyone has their own opinion and no one has a consensus on a single strategy. It's like listening to the Three Goons, Three Stooges, each say a turn in talking. You can't get a clear consensus about what we are trying to do and what direction we are trying to lead people. You get these many different factions. Okay? Pisistratus promoted expansion of trade. We have to remember that. He promoted olives. Yes, olives. I eat them every day. They taste delicious. And minted coins. Then everything changed. Cleisthenes, whom I don't have a particularly favorable relationship with. My father didn't have a good relationship with him, and I do not have a good relationship with what he has established. Introduced democracy. The Stratogoid directly elected and could serve multiple and consecutive terms. The fact is, that is the only office that people can hold consecutive terms. 3, 4, 5 terms. Everybody else, the assembly, the ecclesia, the council, which controls the major decisions, the Council of 500. You can only be in the council and the assembly for a max of 2 years, or 2 one-year term. This system leads to an innumerable amount of problems. Okay? The problem that we faced a few years ago is the factions, the power they can gain, the hill, shore, and plain. Okay, each could vie for power. Now, people thought this was a huge problem. Okay, these so-called people who advocated for democracy now sought decentralization. Keep that in mind, folks. That's become a huge issue in this current war we're facing. Okay, with Alcibiades. He has this huge army aligned with the Persians. He's taken over the Ionian Peninsula and what remains of the Ionian League. He's connected, friends with Sparta, with Corinth. I believe they sought Apollo yesterday, which we'll see what Apollo has to say. But so far, it's not looking great for us, folks. We are on the brink of disaster, mayhem, and losing our way of life. And a lot of this came out of democracy. Why? Because stupid people in power make stupid decisions. Okay? Each person, no matter where they're from, can speak in the assembly. Okay? Obviously, people were stupid enough to listen to Alcibiades try to take control in the Sicilian invasion. You know, that didn't go so well. That went very bad. He was exiled. Now, what is an exile going to do? I don't know, plot revenge? Maybe dine and drink some wine with his Persian friends? I don't know. Retire? No. That's not what he's got to do. What he did is catapult a major offensive campaign against us. Okay, there's around 300,000 people standing on the doorstep of Athens. This is bigger than the Battle of 300. This will be more important than the Persian War. Our leaders made a huge mistake. They didn't listen to my podcasts. They didn't listen to my advice. We needed a strong leader. What we had in Pisistratus, a tyrant who controls and dictates based on his experience. Folks, we have 30 divisions in Attica. 30. Each one of them representing a tribe. Now, so all this time we have this criminal on the doorstep of Athens, and he's serious. He's serious right now. We all know. He's been stating his persistence to totally eradicate all of Attica, all the Athenians, for what they did to him. Exile. I mean, I don't really think exile is such a bad thing, such a huge thing that you could take revenge for. I think as wacko as Alcibiades is overreacting. I think he's a little upset, and he's acting emotional right now. But meanwhile, these leaders, our leaders right now, I would not trust them. Um, we have Nicias, who is perhaps the most incompetent ruler uh, I have ever seen, ever witnessed. He's he's gorging in wine and feasts and festivals. Meanwhile, Athenians, we're starving right now. We have nowhere to go. We're trapped, and all the meanwhile the Democrats are divided between each other. Since we don't have a position of control, people from the south outside of Athens are for Alcibiades because they hate what the city polis has done to them, what Athens has done to them. What we only require tribute, but obviously they complain. The city states and the villages, small villages, they have to commit tribute to us. They're complaining. They're lashing out. But then they're forced to stay inside Athens. And that's a huge problem right now. The people in Athens, in the city, support this incompetent dictator, Nicias, who doesn't know how to lead an army, didn't want to lead this army in the first place, failed miserably in the Sicilian invasion, and we don't know what to do right now. Our leaders have no clue. They're backing down. They want to play. They want to play fair game. They want to offer prisoners for ransom, which I think is a terrible idea to give up prisoners. For what? What could they offer us that would help us? Nothing could help us at all except for Nicias to fight back. He's a tyrant. He needs to fight back. That's what I would do. We have this huge navy, huge arsenal. We've brought men, we've hired men that are in bondage, slaves, people in debt, to be rowers for our triremes. The least we can do is use them. That's the least we can do. But honestly, I don't think this man Nicias is up for the challenge. Every day we get reports that Alcibiades is ascending, is closing in on Athens. Folks, how did we get to this point where we're surrounded and almost in utter defeat? I think part of the reason that we need to establish is that a lot of the members in the assembly that made the decision to decentralize power and reduce the control of the strategos that actually control military affairs. The assembly decided to reduce the budget and control of the strategos. And they made them randomly, democratically elected. So basically, a military leader's success doesn't really matter if the people aren't happy with who he's siding with. Our military leaders were siding with originally Alcibiades. He was a promising leader in general. But the people took at heart some of the things Alcibiades was trying to do. He was trying to expand Athens. He was trying to force more tribute to come to us, which I think is a pretty good idea since these smaller city-states really have no control over us. What can they do if we require more tribute? They can't really do anything at all, to be honest. And People saw that as undemocratic. People saw that as power rising, someone gaining control greedily, and they exiled. And now look what's happening. It's turned back to bite us. Folks, you need to realize this. It's turned back to bite us pretty hard. And so, right now, Nikias, our democratic leader, now we have a smaller space than the size of a few football fields. And all these people packed in here. There's people standing out right side my building, my station, begging for help. What are we gonna do? We need to fight back. That's what we need to do. As long as our leaders remain still in the face of adversaries, nothing will be accomplished for the Athenian glory and for victory of Attica.